make puff pastry. Puff pastry is a laminated dough, and typically when you use puff pastry, most people will just purchase it from the store. So if you were to, you needed it quickly for something like a turnover or a pie or something, you can buy puff pastry just like this. It's called convenience dough, and it's already pre-made. However, for the purpose of our unit, laminated doughs, we are going to show you, take you through the process of making laminated dough. You will make your own puff pastry, and then you will actually make it into a cookie. So this is going to take about 4 days. So I know that sounds like a long time, but the finished product will be amazing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to gather your equipment. For this, you will need a dough scraper. You're going to need a rolling pin, and then you'll pre-measure your ingredients. So the first two ingredients I have pre-measured is flour and salt. So you don't do this in a bowl. You're actually going to do it on your work surface, and I've already combined the flour and the salt together. And you're just going to put it into a nice mound, all right? Then you are going to run your fingers down to create just a little hole in the center, so it's like you're creating its own bowl. And then you're going to add ice water, and the recipe calls for 2/3 cup of ice water. So what I did was I just filled up the entire liquid measuring cup with water and put some ice in it, and then I'm going to strain my 2/3 out, because if you put the ice into the dough or into the flour, it's going to be chunky. It will melt, but it's just easier to do this way. So then what you're going to do is, with your scraper, you're going to pour this and start moving it around and folding it in. Okay, and you're going to do this just to create your dough. All right, so I'm going to continue doing this, and I will show you the finished dough in 1 second. All right, so we're back. So I have incorporated all 2/3 cup of the ice cold water. So now it's kind of straggly, which is, it's supposed to look like this. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to start kneading it to make it come together and form a nice ball. If it's really straggly still, that's totally fine. It will all come together throughout the next step that we're going to be incorporating. So do not add more water. I know a lot of students are like, it's not coming together, I'm going to add more water. Please, please, please do not add more water. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of plastic wrap, and you are going to put it around your ball of dough and twist, and then you're going to refrigerate this overnight. All right, I'm going to show you the next thing in day 1 in just a sec. We'll be right back. All right, so this is the second part of day 1. So we've already made our dough, and you're going to put it in the refrigerator, and then you're going to make what's called a butter square. So puff pastry is what we call laminated dough. What is lamination? Lamination is the process of folding solid fat into dry ingredients, and you create these flaky layers. Kind of almost like if you think of pie crust, but this is much, much, much more fatty, rich, and it has a lot more layers, which is what the layers is what makes the puff pastry puff up and gives it that nice volume and height. So when you make a butter square, you have to use butter. So I know at both campuses we buy margarine for a lot of stuff, but for a puff pastry, for any kind of laminated dough, which also falls into categories like chocolate croissants, you have to use butter. If you use margarine when it cooks, it just doesn't rise the same, it doesn't create the same lamination, so it has to be butter. So to create this, you're going to take 8 ounces of butter. Now 8 ounces of butter is 2 sticks. 1 stick is 4 ounces, 2 sticks is 8 ounces. Sometimes your teachers might buy it like this. This is a full pound, which you would cut in half and use the 8 ounces of it. So you are going to take your butter and put it directly onto your work surface. The recipe calls for you to incorporate the butter with 1 teaspoon of flour, but I'm only going to start mixing the butter with a 1/2 teaspoon of flour just to start the process. So to do that, you are going to take your dough scraper and you're going to start just chopping it up, just like so, and then you're actually going to start mashing it. Okay. Now, depending if this works obviously best with room temperature butter. This one is a little bit more cold, so I'm just going to work it more. So if you're using really cold butter, it will just take a little bit longer. And you're almost like forming it so it's like just a mushy like paste, all right? So once it starts coming together like so, it's really like mushy and you can work with it. I'm gonna incorporate my other half teaspoon of the flour, equaling 1 total teaspoon. So just like that, 1, 2, and then you're just gonna keep mashing it. You could do this with your hands. I just think it's quicker to do with one of these. If you don't have one of these in your classroom, you could do it with a rubber scraper. You could do it with a wooden spoon. You can do it with a butter knife, a straight edge spatula. Okay? So we are good there. So it's all nice and mixed together. So now we're going to move it aside and we're going to form our butter square. So I'll be right back because I'm going to wipe off my work area so I can show you how to put that together. So we're back. So now I'm going to put my butter, my big blob of butter that I just smashed out, into plastic wrap because you want to form it into a butter square. So to do that, you're just going to pick up your butter, all right, and you're going to form it into a 4 by 4 inch square. And it's really important for day 2, which is like the lamination process where you're folding the butter into the actual dough, that when it says it needs to be 4 by 4, it needs to be 4 by 4. So to do that, you put your plastic wrap down flat, and then you're gonna kind of encase it into this plastic wrap by folding it over, just like that. And this will keep it really clean so it's not all over your hands. And you're gonna do 4 by 4 inches. So to do that, you just kind of even up your sides, like so. And it works so good when you're doing it inside the plastic wrap. And then you're gonna refrigerate this overnight. It will harden up, so then you'll put that solid piece of butter into your dough and it will make it easy for you to fold in. So you just wanna make sure, so if you look, I'm way too big. So I'm just going to kind of thicken this up. There, like so. So see, we're right at about 4 inches there. We want to make sure. Perfect. So then we have our 4 by 4 square. And I will show you how to roll it out for day 2. Alright, so we are back, and here's our finished dough. So it is stiffened up a little bit, and this is called a lean dough because I literally, if you recall, it is just the flour, cold water, and salt. And then this is our butter square, and you can see it's like it's hard, so that's what you want. Alright, so you're going to open this up, just like so, and now you are going to encase the butter square into here. So what you need to do is this needs to be rolled out to a 7 by 7 inch square. So you put just a little bit of your flour on your work surface. I'm going to do just a little bit more. If you notice, I didn't do a lot. A lot of times students will dump like 2 cups on there, and then all you're doing is drying out your dough. So to coat your rolling pin, you just go like this, kind of dust it around, so that's ready to go. Put that there and flip it over just a little bit more. And then we're going to start rolling it out to a 7 by 7 inch square. Now remember, when it says a specific size, it means you really got to do a specific size. Sometimes when students are doing like a 7 by 7 inch square, they think they have to cut dough away. You're not cutting any dough away, you're just shaping it. So I'm just wanting to make sure that I have my length, and then I'll show you how I start doing the shaping. Okay, like so. So we're right at about 7 inches. So I'm going to start straightening it out like so. And then I'm going to start flattening this off and flattening this. Okay. About 7 by 7. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, clean edges or anything. You just want it that shape. So then you're going to open up your butter square. If it is still mushy, it's not ready. You want it to stay pretty solid. it will start loosening up during this folding lamination process. So day 2, you're really just, it's a lot of folding. So when you put it on your dough, you're gonna put it like diagonal, okay? And then you're gonna encase it kind of like a present or like an envelope, okay? So pull like this, like that, and then here, boom, press. So here you need to seal your edges, just like so, and then like so, and then like so. So you don't see any butter sticking out anywhere, all right? So I'm feeling my dough is a little bit sticky, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more flour down, and then I'm gonna flip this over to flatten it out, all right? Now you're gonna roll this out to be a 12 inches by 6 inch rectangle. So we'll be right back. All right, so we're back. So I rolled it out to about a 6 by 12 inch rectangle, just like so. Again, you want it doesn't have to be perfectly sharpened edges or anything. So you can kind of, if you look closely here, you can kind of see that the butter is inside of it. So that's like just one layer now. So we want to create more layers. So to do that, you are going to fold it 1/3 of the way, and then you're going to fold this other piece this way, all right, just like so. And then what you're going to do, actually, I'm just kidding. We're going to roll it out one more time, okay? So now you have that, you can see it's creating layers. So we're going to roll this out again to be a 12 by 6 inch rectangle. So we'll be right back. All right, so we're back. So I rolled it out this is the second time. So just like before, you're gonna fold it over like so, once, and then like that. So now we're creating even more layers. So now you're gonna do it 2 more times, but before you do that, the butter is starting to get to room temperature because you're working it so much, and it will pop out. So if it pops out as you're rolling it, you have to put, not a ton, but some flour on it just to kind of dry it out. So then after you fold it like so, you're going to take it, put it in some plastic wrap it around, just like so. And then you're gonna put it in the freezer for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much time you have in class. So we'll be right back.